Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Global Exclusive Podcast. I'm Muspel, and I'm joined this week by Dream.
We've got about as many hosts today as we do pieces of content.
Yeah, for some reason, Shadow seems to think his daughter is more important than we are.
Gosh, so unreasonable.
uh, and yeah, there's not a lot to talk about this week. Do we want to start with the trial or the unit?
We'll stick to our formula and go with the unit first.
You have no respect for anarchy. So
Lamia.
full Moon Karten, because I guess I don't know why he couldn't have been an NVA.
I don't know. Like his base form sprite is really similar as well,
Yeah,
but I don't know. NVAs are less profitable.
yeah, that's probably the actual reason, but
Yeah. But yes, we have everyone's Team Wolf. That I feel like I'm the only one who's like not crazy about his sprite.
I I don't know. I think it's fine. I don't think it's amazing, and his shift honestly seems a little over the top.
Yeah, too much aura, especially for an envy base.
Well, also it's just like it's white on white on white, and it
Yeah.
doesn't like there's no definition to it. I feel.
Anyway, now that we've angered our viewer base, shall we get into the kit?
Sure. So like pretty much all of the recent global exclusive units, aside from the buffers, he's a Clash of Wills unit. I guess the buffers were like that too. I mean, he's a morale
Yeah.
damage dealer. Um, he does have decent damage without morale, just like all the previous morale units. But uh, in Clash of Wills, he's going to hit significantly harder. I think he's fairly competitive with Sephiroth and Tifa. Like
Um,
not quite on their level, but
yeah, well,
close.
again, like outside of Clash, at least, it's the thing of Sephiroth and Tifa scale much harder with like higher EX levels and stuff. At
Sorry,
EX,
yeah, I meant outside of
yeah,
Clash of Wills. In
yeah,
Clash of Wills, he will beat the crap out of them.
yeah, he'll beat them in Clash of Wills, and outside of them, they will start stomping on him once you get to like EX2 and 3. But at EX1, they're pretty competitive with each other outside of Clash of Wills.
Yeah, luckily he didn't take too much from original Carton in terms of
Oh
the
god, yeah.
kit, because for those that aren't aware, the original Carton's kit was a war crime, and his
Like
rotation might be the most complicated of any rotation
like
in the
have
game.
have four different cooldowns that mostly like don't aren't factors of each other, so don't line up nicely ever.
Yeah, and some of his skills upgrade other skills when used in sequence, and all of his buff uptimes are a mess, and so are his debuff uptimes, and it's trying to maintain everything like bailing out a sinking ship, and I don't think anyone ever figured out his optimal rotation.
Yeah, let's not think about old Karten too much. New one just kind of does buffs and then either limit bursts for mod boost and then does 3 turns of chaining or does 4 turns of chaining. So he's nice and simple.
Yeah. The one
Yeah.
thing he did take from the original Carton is that he has a big burst skill that berserks him for 1 turn. Since this is a skill that only berserks for 1 turn, the fact that it's a berserk is not a drawback. It's basically just an extra attack buff.
Yeah, extra attack that stacks with a regular attack buff, so he can get up to 800% attack buff with his
Well,
own kit or
yeah,
900 with like Aerith external buff.
yeah. Uh, there's one thing in this kit that I want to talk about that is awful. I think this might be the worst passive on a unit ever.
Go on.
He has in his shift a passive that makes him auto cast an attack every single turn that hits a random enemy, and it costs a percentage of his max health. Now, the HP loss is not that big a deal. It's going to be kind of annoying, but you could get around it by like I don't know, in any number of ways.
I
It's
think that's how
most
they're trying to make people bring healers because you make their own units damage themselves and then you have to heal them.
Yeah, which is dumb, but whatever. The actual problem with this is there's two things about it that are going to annoy me, I think. The first is if the boss has counters, which some bosses do, this happens at the start of your turn. You cannot bait the counters onto another unit, and you cannot stop from triggering the counters. And the
Well,
second problem is that the modifier is not very high, but like in really early stages of Dark Visions or something, this might be enough to one shot a boss. I don't really know. so it might stop you from getting a score. You
Mhm.
can have him start in base form, so it's not the end of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
world.
You just
But
you just don't start him in shift really for
it's
those.
still annoying, and this is a passive that has no reason to exist. It's not useful in any way. He would be a better unit if he did not have this.
Yeah, it is just kind of a inconvenience for flavor, I suppose,
Yeah, I
because
guess.
he's out of control, beast mode, whatever.
Like even if it was just he takes 25% of his health as damage at the start of every turn, that would be less bad than the current version.
But yeah, I mean, going back to just like how he stacked up, we mentioned outside of Cow, and like Sephiroth and Tifa, but in general, I think a much closer point of comparison for both in and out of Cow is Lara, and he seems to just stack up basically slightly worse than her in kind of all situations.
Um, I think it depends on how you're looking at things. I believe they're pretty competitive when you give Lara an external weapon in peril. If you don't, then
Yeah,
Karten is stronger because
potentially, but
he
then
brings his own. Because
yeah.
when I saw Shadow's math, he had them equal, but he forgot about weapon imperils. So Lara didn't have an external one, and Karten didn't have his own.
Though on the other hand, well, I think no, I think that was with Carton's one, but on the other hand, to get that kind of competitive level, that's building Carton TDH, and that uses like most or all of his materia slots just to cap. So killers become very hard for that, especially as you need to spend 2 slots on chain cap boosts, and
That is true.
only one
Although,
of them can be a morale item.
although he has innate killers for demons, humans, and reapers, which are we're kind of past the point where some
Yeah,
races are more
again,
common than others. They seem to spread things around a lot better, but that's still pretty good coverage.
but yeah, against those races, his TDH build will probably be alright. But against other ones, it's probably not good.
And
Compare so
and since he
favorably.
doesn't need LB damage, it's not as bad as it could be.
Yeah, yeah, it's not quite so bad.
So he's another Clash of Wills damage dealer. He's going to
Yeah,
see
he
use,
is
but
fine. He's not especially
he's
notable like as at the top spot or anything, but he's good.
yeah, he's not a must-have unless you're the kind of whale that wants to push for the top rank in every single Clash of Wills event. And if you're that kind of person, you're pulling for every unit anyways, so why are you listening to our recommendations?
One little thing I do like that we don't see that often these days is he has native element support for 2 elements instead of just one.
Yes, that is a
Almost
nice step.
everyone
Uh,
seems to be mono element these days, but no, he has both water and dark at full strength.
water is weird to me. Like, why water?
I don't know, maybe it's because of like Tsukiko stuff. It
Maybe
is a
like
bit weird.
maybe like the moon tides?
Yeah,
I don't know.
something.
That's a
It
stretch.
it is a bit of a stretch in general. I mean, it's called Wailing Claw, so maybe it's because he cries a lot. Just the tears land on his fists and then he punches people with them. Or
I also want to
scratches them.
mention that his limit burst in base form gives Dark Absorb to the entire team for 1 turn. This could have rare applications. He doesn't really need his LB for much of anything else. It boosts his damage a bit, or his shift LB will boost his damage a bit. But if this
Yeah,
lets you get avoid gearing for Dark Resist, it could be better.
it is a bit of a weird one though. It's certainly niche. It's not gonna
Yeah.
be
I mean, I guess you could try to spam it every turn while you're setting up, and then just have him shift and nuke. I don't know. It would be a very strange thing to do, but
especially
it's
as
an option.
it's not imbuing the enemy with dark or anything, so it has to
Yeah,
specifically be a boss where the dark damage is the main threat or whatever.
yeah. I certainly don't expect this to be a common thing, but I could see it being one of those weird corner cases where there's some boss that it becomes significant.
It'll pop up in a strategy somewhere maybe.
Yeah, and now we can talk about his TM and STMR and Vision card.
Your favorite bit.
The TM is actually pretty good. It's an accessory, only 53 attack, which is good for a TM, but there's stronger
Mm.
STMRs these days, but it's still not bad. It gives 25% killer for demons, humans, and reapers, and then for Karten specifically, it gives 100 static attack.
So because of this 100 attack on Carton himself, if building true dual wields, it's like effectively an 86 attack accessory, and if you're building him TDH, it's effectively a 73 attack accessory. So you can use that to compare for stuff like against stuff like Tifa's STMR for
Yeah,
slots.
and it uh, aside from the Karten specific passive, it's basically just a TM version of Sky's STMR, which for those that don't remember was 65 attack and then a couple killers, different races and weaker killers, less attack. But
A weaker version.
Sky's STMR was good. This is good. Like even as a TMR, I think people are still going to use it once in a while, even if they
Yeah,
have some of the good
it's not bad.
STMRs.
It's not
So
bad.
it's more than we can say for a lot of TMs we see.
Yeah, that's fair.
His STMR is 60% attack, 50% true dual wield, and then 50% killer for demons, humans, and reapers. Killer materia is always good. Triple killer materia with extra stats, even better.
Yeah, it's a very nice killer materia. When the killers don't apply, it's just an okay attack materia that we already have
Yeah,
equivalents of.
yeah. I mean,
But yeah,
not.
it's nice slot efficient killers that still help with capping attack.
Yeah, the main
Good
downside
races.
is that demons and humans are two of the easiest ones to gear for. Undead is a little harder, so that's nice,
Yeah.
but
And when you've got multiple units and stuff for like Clash or Dark Visions, it's still good
sure.
to have more. Like your
Also, the
first and maybe second unit are easy to cap on, but
Also, since the Chamber of Arms is closed, maybe there's some people that missed out on Man Eater Plus. So,
oh maybe. Yeah.
And then his vision card is a vision card. There's really nothing to say here.
Yeah.
I guess it has
Again,
killers, which is rare.
yeah, for FFBE units, it's got killers. Again, will be nice for physical attackers against those races if they're FFBE. So it's getting a bit niche by stacking like several conditionals like that. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
still pretty good.
To be fair, like when you're looking at Clash of Wills, you're mostly going to be using FFBE units anyways because they seem to be all the
Yeah.
morale units. So,
I think it is a bit weird that they went up to 115 for Louise and Link's card and then have gone back down to 110 consistently for
yeah,
offensive
I don't
stats
know.
and cards.
Maybe it was just to kind of, I don't know, soften the blow of these
Maybe.
new, I don't know. But yeah, it is strange, especially since they then released Lara's card with 125. Like she was a limited
Yeah.
collab unit. I get why hers was better, but
Yeah, it's like
still.
pseudo premium.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I think that's Carton pretty much exhausted.
Yeah, and now we've got the new trial for this week.
Yeah. Arco
Yeah.
Avis, I think you'd say it is.
Let me look at the name
Yeah.
again and try to
I
figure out
want
how
to
to
say that
pronounce this.
this name is impressive purely because it has 5 vowels in a row. A-E-O-A-E.
I want to Google this. Where does this name come from?
Well, Avis is like avia, bird, flying.
Okay. Et, I'm apparently he's from Final Fantasy 12. I'm looking at the etymology on the Final Fantasy wiki. It comes from the Greek root. Okay, it means ancient bird.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Archaeology, avian.
yeah, but yeah, that
Doesn't look much like a bird, to be honest.
I mean, raptors
Like,
are chickens.
yeah, I guess, but like the teeth and the dragon wings and tail.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so
But anyway,
Dream.
try it.
Oh, another thing I want to mention before we get into the boss itself is that we had been calling these the 12 races trials because that was like the translation
Yeah,
from Japanese. They're now in GL. The official translation is now the 12 types takedown, which is I don't know.
GL loves their alliterations.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah, it would be a little weird to have something called like killing the races or whatever.
Oh God. Sorry.
So I can see why they didn't want to have that in the title.
I'm not going to say that. Uh, anyway, we got a trial, kind of.
Yeah,
Because, I
I
mean, like, defensively, it does not hit very hard from what I've seen. It's pretty tame on that front. It's reasonably bulky though, and magic is twice as effective as physical, and I think it's weak to lightning above 50% health and ice below 50% health. So the ideal choice is like a mage that can do those two elements, which is mainly VV at this point. But if we get Medina's NVA anytime soon, she should be a good choice for it as well.
Yeah, you could also just bring somebody that's element neutral and imbue them, obviously.
Yeah, the
Um,
physical will still work, but again because that defense is twice as much, and
yeah,
one of the missions in the advanced version is a 6-turn clear, that
Well,
might be quite hard to hit.
it's more that the current top physical units deal more than twice the damage of most of the mages.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
I think the only mages that come close are what Aerith, Igni, and who's the other new one? I'm drawing a
Oliver,
blank. Yeah, Olivera.
yeah. I guess
And
Paws and Louise kind of as well, but
yeah, but they're
yeah, they're a bit
not
all of
not
those.
good elemental
Yeah,
fits.
all of those are a bit hard elementally. So yeah,
Uh,
but like if you're potentially bringing two external imbuers for ice and lightning, because I can't think of anyone that nicely has both of those, it still might not be the most suitable. But I mean, I've seen from evidence that VV works well for it with like
mhm,
the reflection stuff.
yeah. Uh, the boss itself is unfortunately a joke. Uh,
Yeah, it's very non-threatening.
yeah, a lot of very, very weak, uh, well, not necessarily weak, but all of the magic attacks are elemental, so you can just use resists. There's no imperils, so you can easily hit immunity, and then some physical attacks with only 25% accuracy. So there's
Ooh,
any number of ways you could deal with that, or just use Mirage, I guess. I'm not sure how many times
Yeah,
per turn
I
he
think
does it.
so. Maybe an evade provoke, but yeah, it's not a threatening trial. The challenge
Yeah.
is if you want to get both the turn limit mission and like the reduced party members mission.
So there's a skill here. I forget how this works. This skill Tail. It has two separate physical damage components. Does that eat two stacks of Mirage or one?
I think two because it's actually two separate like damage hits and not just
I
one that's
I
multi
think
hit.
so as well. I'm trying to remember. Have
Yeah.
we had a boss that did this before?
I'm not sure because there was ones like Shinryu's one that is like one attack that does a bunch of hits, and that only eats one stack. But
Yeah,
I think that was only written as one damage instance when passed on the wiki. So yeah, I
yeah,
think this will eat two Mirage stacks,
yeah. This might be the first time a boss has done this though, or at least with a physical attack.
maybe. But yeah, it's taking a leaf out of the unit's books.
Yeah, which I'm okay with. Like when they've done stuff like this in the past, a lot of the time it's been a good idea. Like when they gave bosses stat passives, that was a fantastic idea, and then they stopped doing it because I don't know why.
To
But
sell better breakers, maybe.
yeah,
But
I don't know.
yeah, it's a decent mechanic, especially like between evasion and mirage. Like physical attacks are far too often too easy to like nullify.
Yeah, if they gave bosses relatively high accuracy and then they made them attack like if they give more bosses these multi-part attacks, that makes it so that Mirage isn't an option, and it makes it so that you can't rely as much on luck, even if you can't hit full dodge, just because the odds of you getting clipped by something are higher.
Mhm.
Although, really, the answer is just full accuracy.
But yeah, in general, I think this would need like more attack and magic and in perils and stuff to actually be a bit threatening. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's something, I guess. There's still a bit of
Do
finagling to
you
do.
think there's any chance that they accidentally change their boss template and they don't realize that these bosses don't have stat passives?
I don't think so. I think it's just JP design philosophy being terrible. but
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah, I guess
Reward
yeah,
wise,
we're going to the same place.
yeah.
Some nice killers.
Bird, you get a bird killer materia, which I think already existed, right?
Yeah, I think Bird Killer's craftable. In fact, I think.
Yeah. And then we get a recipe for bird killer plus. Let me see what the materials for
Yeah,
this
this is
are.
new. I think it's two copies of Bird Killer, which again is why it's craftable. And one thing that is changed here for GL is it's 20k enlightenment points instead of like rat tails and pure stone and stuff that's used for Dragon Killer Plus. So
Huh.
this is a really nice change, to be honest,
I
because
Yeah, I
in
don't
my
want to farm
opinion,
those, but I'm trying
yeah,
to remember. I have not used enlightenment points in I don't remember how long. I don't remember how much 20,000 is.
I think the like cap you can have at once in your inventory is 100k, and then like the diamond keys gave 10k. I think the gold ones were like two to 5k or something.
Yeah, but diamond
It's
keys, did we ever get more of those after the initial
no,
release?
we only got Well, we did in like the first few months. I think there were 3 or 4 available total, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can
I
get
think it
like
was
so
just
many
gold.
silver and gold.
I
But
think I have 80 something gold key saved up just because I've never run
yeah,
them.
yeah. So like 20k is a moderate amount. Like it's enough to put a dent in things, but it's not like anything ridiculous. And I
Yeah,
think this is nice to actually have a use for that again.
yeah. I would recommend that people not make too many copies of this because I assume the future
Yes,
ones will also use
each
up enlightenment points.
yeah, each 12 race will give a killer plus recipe, except I guess dragon when that arrives. And yeah, they'll all use the same recipe template. But
What do you
yes, I
think?
like this because rat tails are like the worst thing to farm in the game, I
Yeah,
swear.
I never want to go back to Bahamut's place because that's just miserable. Uh, and
Mm,
then if you beat him on the highest difficulty, you also get a stone killer materia.
yeah. And I think the sense ones are the ones that are like a killer plus with 40% attack and magic as well.
Yeah,
So those are always nice to pick up too.
yeah.
Yeah. And I
Stone is a
think that's
little
the
weird because he's a bird. I guess
I,
maybe it's because
I
he's
think
like a
that's the
fossil
no,
bird. I don't know.
I think it's because Stone is the next one in the 12 race series.
Oh, okay, could be.
Yeah, Stone is next, and then Undead. And if I double check, I'm assuming the Stone one gives Undead killer sense.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. So yeah, that's just like a hint for the next one.
Okay, makes sense.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much this week's content. All 2 items of it.
Yeah, yeah. There's really not
I
much
still
going on.
I still have to finish Clash this afternoon because I've had a busy couple weeks.
Yeah, I need to look at it too and decide whether or not I'm actually going to do it.
Uh, I think I've got kind of like a team and stuff prepared. I just need to do the gearing and whatnot.
Oh, should we talk
But
about the event gear? Is any of it good? I haven't looked at it.
I think it was very mediocre. Like it's some all right budget attack stuff, but nothing that you'll use at in-game level.
Let's see. A fist with 25% Reaper killer and
Maybe with the killer it would be slotted very occasionally.
well, only 165 attack.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe on like your third or fourth damage dealer. What are the other things here?
We are very prepared.
Yeah, the problem is the stats are not on the wiki, so I need to use the Discord bot to grab this stuff. Um, oh, the necklace looks decent. Um, 45 attack, 50% light resistance, 40% attack when equipped with the ring. We'll look up what that does in a second, and then
I
25%
think
Reaper Killer.
I think the
So
ring is the same amount of attack and fire resistance, and again attack with the necklace. So they're okay. Again, like you'll probably only use them when you need either the killers or the resists.
yeah, but resist plus attack. The ring does not have killers. It has 5% evasion.
Yeah, yeah.
So 5% is not much, but we have seen a few cases where you wanted evasion on your damage dealers. So attack and resist is always a nice combination. And then if you use both of these, I guess you're getting 80% attack from your accessories, which is not super useful, but
So yeah, again, I think they're mostly like good budget attack options that will occasionally be ideal when you need like the resists as well in efficient
yeah.
slots.
The shop also has 2 transpearls, which is great,
Oh, I didn't notice that. That is nice.
and an Omni Prism, and I guess some STMR tickets.
Yeah, and like cartons, like a copy of old cartons, TMR and STMR as well,
Yeah,
which aren't amazing at this point, but
the TMR is I don't even
yeah.
remember what does the
it's
passive on this
it's
thing do?
it's attack with fists,
Oh
50%,
yeah,
I
that
think.
sucks.
But yeah, it's all like all decent budget attack gear.
Yeah,
So if you're
and
new, pick that up because from what I've seen, you get like tons of currency from the event.
yeah, I think that's pretty much all there is to talk about this week, though.
Yeah, there was the
Pretty
thing with the event points, but they fixed that now.
yeah,
In fact, they like more than fixed it because like the standard is 20 per energy. It started as 10 and now it's 40.
that's nice. I'm
But then
honestly at
again,
the point where I don't really
my
feel like grinding
yeah,
out these events as much as they want me to.
I mean I just dump my energy into it when I've got it because it's easy to hit repeat on idly while doing something else. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
So
The event is not too hard to grind now. get some tickets and whatnot as usual.
Yeah, probably going to end it here. We don't have Barrows to say
Yeah.
something wildly inappropriate to end the episode. So,
Uh, don't worry, you already said that thing about killing races, so
well,
I think we've got that covered.
I was saying that it's a good thing they didn't do that, just because they want to avoid like making that point even accidentally. But yeah, all right. See you next
Anyway,
week, everybody.
see you next week.